Alright, this should be a quick video for any of the for any Jeep Cherokee with the inline 6, the 4.0, 91 to 01. It's probably Grand Cherokees too, same year models, as long as they have the inline 6, and probably even the Wranglers from 91 to 06. I don't know after 01 if they moved where the temperature sensor is, but temperature sensor is located right here on the thermostat housing. I mean, mine's broken, like the actual switch is broken, but this isn't the first time I've replaced it. Some symptoms: if it completely goes out, you don't always get a check engine light, but if it completely goes out, your cooling fan turns on the whole time, and if I remember right, it kicks the AC out, from what I was reading, if it loses this sensor. What it did when it went out on me in 2011 when I replaced it the first time, I actually didn't get a check engine light, but I did have trouble starting. It was hard starts. It was basically flooding the engine because it thought it was like negative 40 degrees outside. So it was dumping fuel into it, and I'd have to put it in the clear flood mode, which is the pedal all the way to the floor, and then it would start, but it would stumble and miss until it cleared all the fuel out. Well, I mean, it was still dumping fuel because I thought temperature was bad. Until it warmed up, it wasn't running right. The reason I knew it was bad this time is, well, obviously it's broken, but it was still reading up until yesterday. It threw a check engine light, but it was still running, and the check engine light was for I think the temperature sensor circuit high or something. But this one's completely broken. I mean, it's not even connected anymore. There's the pins. But so this is the bolt on it. The bolt. The nut on it is 3/4. Make sure your engine's not hot. If it's hot, you want to let it cool down. But you know, simple. I mean, simple hand tools. You don't need anything special. But yeah, this is you know, maybe a common-ish issue anyway. But the sensor going out anyway. Not too common, but I'm gonna have to take this out. But I'll be back. I just gotta pull that out. Alright, here it is. It's the old one. My connector, my lock tab's already broken off of it. Or my lock tab was already missing. So, technically I need another connector, but it holds on because the clip's right here. But, if it's got a red lock connector, it's going to look something. I'm missing almost all my red locks. It's going to look like that. And you have to take that red lock tab, go underneath it, go underneath the lock tab, pick up the lock tab before you can depress the button. If you don't do that, you're not going to get anywhere. But yeah, it already comes with, well, if you get a good one, or at least a decent one, it's already going to come with thread sealant on it. If it doesn't, you need to put some type of thread sealant on it, whether it's Teflon tape or it's actually the paste Teflon tape. Another symptom, if this goes bad, is your temperature sender, your gauge for your temperature. It's not going to read, because this is actually a dual sensor, unlike the old Jeeps. The old Jeeps had a temperature sensor on the side of the block, and there was also a temperature sensor on the back of the head. The sensor on the back of the head on the old Jeeps was actually for the gauge, and the one on the side of the block was for the ECM. This one actually does double duty as both the for the gauge and for the ECU. So another problem is that you'll see your gauge acting up. Or not reading at all, which this one, like I said, it was working, but it did finally throw a check engine light. I'd actually forgotten it. I found it broken a about a month or so ago, and I haven't driven this thing in a while, so I just now started driving it again, and I'd forgotten that it was broken until I came out here after the code, and I was like, yep, it was broken. And then me touching it made it not work at all, so it doesn't need to be too terribly tight, because this is pipe thread, and that sealant will help seal it. That's probably about it. And there you go. So, yeah, that's the temperature sensor changed. Should crank fine without any stumbling issues. Cranking better than it was. What it was doing, it would crank. When it went out this time, it wasn't flooding the engine out. But when you crank it, it would fire off once, and then it would either die or it would idle really low and then stumble and catch itself. So there's a bunch of little bitty things depending on how it goes bad. If it completely goes bad, or if it gets stuck at one value, there's a lot of little different things that can happen. But yeah, you either need an adjustable wrench or a 3/4 inch. That'll get the sensor out. The factory one might be a little bit different size, and different manufacturers might have a little bit different sizes. But most of the ones I've come across have been 3/4, but it could be slightly different. So yeah, that was just a quick little video on changing the temperature sensor. 91 to 01 Cherokee. I think Grand Cherokee was the same. I don't know what they did in the later models of the Wranglers, if those are slightly different, because I don't look at too many of those. But yeah,